Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your Wednesday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, some breaking news out of Helena today. Governor Steve Bullock entered the U.S. Senate race against Republican Steve Daines just 5 weeks ago, and it appears is having no trouble raising money for his campaign. In the 3 weeks ending March 31st, Bullock's campaign raised $3.3 million. Now, Bullock released his fundraising numbers just moments ago. The Democratic governor entered the U.S. Senate race March 9th, the last possible day for filing as a candidate, after saying for months he wasn't running. Well, Daines, a first-term Republican, had $5 million in his campaign account as of December 31st and will file his latest fundraising report later today. The Bullock-Daines battle should be one of the most watched U.S. Senate contests in the nation and one of the most expensive. Bullock and Daines each has a primary election opponent, but neither challenger is well known by voters. Well, in the midst of social distancing, Montana police are taking note of large get-togethers. One example, deputies broke up a party over the weekend in a remote area outside Butte. Authorities responded to a wooded area off of Browns Gulch Road, northwest of town. They told the group they had to disperse due to the state's social distancing order. No citations were issued because none of the people had violated the order before. The sheriff says partygoers were educated about social isolation and sent home. Now, earlier this month, police did cite a resident for hosting another party after previous warnings. Well, leaders with the Helena School District are in deep discussions on how the COVID-19 outbreak will impact final grades and graduation. Possible plans were discussed during a Board of Trustees meeting last night. School administrators are leaning toward maintaining traditional grading for middle and high schoolers and giving them the option of a credit-only grade. When it comes to graduation, leaders are working on several possible plans, ranging from a traditional graduation ceremony to a digital ceremony streamed online and some social distance alternatives in between. No final decisions have yet been made.
I think we owe it to our graduates to try to make that decision, and their families to try to make that decision as close to the actual date as we can, because we don't know what the next few weeks are going to look like.
Now, the school board's two student representatives stated strongly during the meeting that they are opposed to a fully digital graduation, saying it would only make the situation worse for seniors. Well, the Billings Airport is set to receive more than $12 million to stay afloat during this pandemic. It comes from a portion of $73 million from the Federal Aviation Administration that spreads to 71 airports across the state. Leaders say the funding will help operations to continue as airports see a sharp decline in passenger traffic.
The way most airports work is the airlines pay for everything that we can't recover from passenger revenues or from rents and development. And so obviously as activity's gone down, that increases the airline rate. So we really want to step forward and help our terminal tenants by stabilizing those costs and ensuring that we're offering rates that are on the economic side of the industry.
The funding is part of the Trump administration's Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act Airport Grant Program. Well, another piece of major funding is falling into place for removal of the old Rattlesnake Dam near Missoula. That dam was built on Rattlesnake Creek and was used as part of the city's water supply until water quality concerns arose. However, the old concrete dam remains, blocking fish spawning and habitat. But there are also concerns the structure could fail in a major flood event. To that end, the Federal Emergency Management Agency says it will pay $700,000 to remove the dam this summer. That's 75% of the total cost. The other 25% will come from state and local government sources, as well as Trout Unlimited. Well, it's time now to check in on the weather scene with Ed McIntosh. Good afternoon, Ed.
Hey, Jeanelle. We've got a lot of snow across the region, and it's going to continue to influence especially travel as we get into the afternoon. As we take out some of the major roadways, how about around Georgetown Lake? It's actually a really pretty picture, but this is mid-April. It's supposed to look like that a month or two ago. Here's how things look on Lookout Pass. You can see the wet roadways there, still making things passable, but visibility is reduced. The roads around McDonald Pass, a much different situation with a lot of snow and ice in play there. And here's a picture from Boulder Hill on I-15. You can see the snow plows working their way up the hill with poor visibility. Closer look at the forecast coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Montana is up by another 5. The state's latest numbers, released every morning around 10, shows 404 cases. All 5 spread out across Montana from Flathead, Gallatin, Pend Oreille, Roosevelt, and Yellowstone counties. The state says 209 people have recovered, and as of midnight last night, 7 people have died. In Wyoming, COVID-19 has claimed another life. That victim, reported in Laramie County, brings the state total to 2. The total confirmed cases, 287, with most of those cases in Laramie County. Well, as of today, all Missoula County residents are welcome to utilize the drive-through COVID-19 testing site out at the county fairgrounds. Now, initially, the health department's focus was on priority groups known as 1 and 2, but seeing as a lot of the people falling into those groups were already being tested by their own healthcare providers, the department was able to open the drive-through testing to more. Now, anyone living in Missoula County who is having symptoms, and any healthcare worker or first responder working in Missoula County and showing symptoms now qualifies to use that drive-through service with prior doctor approval. Missoula County says right now the biggest obstacle is obtaining more testing supplies. Well, with heightened sensitivity to social distancing, Missoula volunteers are getting creative to help the community. MTN's Megan Mannering has details on one group that's finding a way to make it work.
This old warehouse on 150 South Catlin has become the new site for a no-contact donation drive-in, an operation that'll bring a little bit of assurance to a lot of the more vulnerable in our community.
Those of us that are in an age range where our experiences with this virus may not be as detrimental, we have the power to make a difference for the whole community.
Christine Littig is just one of the volunteers in what she's calling an incredible mix of Missoulians.
It's not just the broad-based organizing effort. It's not just myself as a random employee at the food bank. It's women from the Women's Center or the Women's Workout Center. It's Habitat for Humanity's volunteers. There are a lot of people who want to make this happen and who are working really hard to learn proper sanitation.
Here's how you can do your part. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., swing by 150 South Catlin and drop off your essential non-food items at one of the marked stations. Everything from diapers and dish soap to pet food and toilet paper is greatly appreciated. Once your items have been dropped off, volunteers, keeping a 6-foot distance in mind, will wipe down and sanitize the donations before delivering them to those who are homebound.
One of the things that I have found in being a lifetime Missoulian and someone who cares about my community is that we're stronger if we think about the we.
In donating some simple but essential items, you'll be supporting those whose situations have changed drastically in light of the pandemic. In Missoula, Megan Mannering, MTN News.
And Megan tells us if you'd like to be on that delivery route for these items, you should visit the Missoula COVID-19 Organizing Action Facebook page. Well, we have more ahead on your statewide noon news. A look at how doctors are now observing children in a different light since the coronavirus pandemic. The time now is 12:08, but first, meteorologist Ed McIntosh is up next with your statewide weather forecast.